Welcome to Irise Conversations with Joan. My name is Joan Nwosu, and I'm the award-winning author of the book, Irise, the 10 Secrets to Getting Up When Life Knocks You Down. So in life, we all face adversity over and over again. Sometimes it's really simple and easy, so you quickly recover from it, but others are quite life-altering. The question is not how many times you fall, because you will, but it's about how many times you get up. You can choose to remain in victim mode, blaming the world, or you can choose to be the victor and take back control of your life. Our guest today has done just that and is now helping people all over the world do the same. Sonny van Cleveland is a man of many variations and an outlier in the ways of perseverance and overcoming. He went from serving nearly 18 years in prison to headlining stages around the US as a metal vocalist to gaining global fame on YouTube. You got to check him out. He is now a motivational speaker and a mindset coach dedicated to helping people achieve their life's goals. He is an evolution with tremendous highs and devastating lows, all of which he puts on display. Again, you've got to check out his YouTube channel. He uses this to exemplify to everyone that anyone can overcome any instances in their lives to achieve success and live the life of your dreams. He truly believes that we can all achieve success in life and change the world by working together and holding the rope. Welcome, Sonny, to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Joan. It's such an honor.
It is such an honor to have you on the show. So I remember the first time I read about your story, it was jaw-dropping. And I want you to share some of that with our listeners today. So take us way back to how it all started and some of the adversities that you've been through in summary, because I know it's a lot.
I will give you the Reader's Digest version, I suppose, as best I can. When I was 5 years old, I started being molested by my uncle. And over the course of the next 5 years, I was molested by 3 other men as well. So from the age of 5 until I was 10, I was a molestation bag for local pedophiles. And they were my uncle and a couple of my mom's friends and some of her boyfriends. And that led me to acting out and revolting against men in my life. And when I was 7 years old, I broke into a church with my brother, just being a dumb kid. And the cops came and they arrested us. And we were charged with breaking and entering into a dwelling. And they charged me with a felony. And I didn't understand at the time what was going on. I just saw these men that were paying attention to me, wanted to discipline me, and didn't want to hurt me. There was no sexual predator in these men. They were officers. They were men that wanted to help me. So I looked at them as role models. And the only way I could get their attention was to keep breaking the law. So I kept breaking the law so that the cops would come around. And the next thing you know, I'm in courts and all the attention's on me. And I was thriving under the attention, except that I'm hiding behind the laughter and the smiles that I'm being molested, almost every other day of my life at the time. And I continued down this path for a long time until I was 10 years old. I finally came out and told my mother that what was happening to me. And she called the police. Of course, everybody was arrested that was involved in doing it. And then I something just kind of didn't sit right with me in my life. I continued to break the law. By the time I was 13 years old, I started getting into drugs and alcohol and sex with women of my own choosing. And I was just down a very bad path. And when I was in school at 15, I stole some money from a safe in my school and got sent as an adult. They bound me over to adult court. And while I was in the county jail for stealing the money, my whole world came crashing down at 16 years old. They started bringing up all these other charges, and they're like, oh, well, you did this and you did this and you did this. So I didn't have a parent around. So my mother was gone and I don't know my father. And they started hitting me with all these charges. And I'm like, oh, I'm guilty. I did it. And then he sent me to prison, full-blown adult prison when I was 16 years old. And I didn't know what was going on because I had never been taken away before in my life. He never put me in it. It was always just probation. And so I went from, it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday afternoon. I go to court and it's another sentencing. I'm hanging out with a friend and my mother goes to sentencing with me and he sentences me to jail. And I'm like, what? What is happening right now? And, a week later, I'm in full-blown prison, in quarantine in Jackson, Michigan, and my whole life has changed. I'm a 16-year-old scared, skinny kid from the sticks. I don't know the first thing about gangs or criminals or being locked up. I don't know nothing about none of this. And it was very bad. Like it was very bad. I was raped the first week that I was there, by two men. And something had snapped in me at that point. I knew I was no longer going to be a victim, because I've been a victim my whole life. And then here I come into this world, and I was given 5 years, and then this happens. I'm victimized right away. And I'm telling myself, you know what? Something's got to stop. Something's got to change. I'm no longer going to be a victim. And I've always been a nice kid. I was always a very caring, outgoing, empathetic kid. But something broke, and something told me, like, if I'm going to survive this, I have to become something vicious. I have to be a monster. And so I did. I started getting tattoos and gang violence. I joined gangs, and I stopped caring about life. I stopped caring about myself. I would rather hurt the world than be hurt anymore. And so that took place for 5 years. For 5 years, I was just violence most of the time. I learned how to be a really good criminal. And I got out when I was 21, and I ran the streets for 2 years almost. Just violence, robbing people, robbing drug dealers, breaking into houses and stealing loot to sell, and just being a criminal with no direction in life, no goals, because I didn't care about anything. I was very self-centered, no empathy. And then it happened again. I got caught again in a particular case. And I got 12 years. They weren't playing with me. And they said, you know what, we're sending you back. And I got 12 more years. And it was during that time that I had, about halfway through that sentence, I went to the hole for a very violent assault. And I was given 5 years in the hole. They sentenced me to 5 years in segregation. And I was at the end of the hallway, and I met a Muslim man who saved my life. He changed my life by introducing me to philosophy, stoicism, self-help, self-empowerment, diversity, forgiveness. He taught me all of that. He taught me how to look inside myself, discover my passion, and how to let go. And basically, he made me a Buddhist at the end of the day. I developed a sense of attachment and a desire to teach, and that's how we got to where we are.
Oh my God! Wow!
And the Reader's Digest version.
And that is the Reader's Digest version. I think I've heard the full story, and it's really, like I said, it's really jaw dropping. Wow. Wow, your story is phenomenal.
It's a lot to take in.
It is a lot to take in. And, before I ask you how you overcame all of this, because I'm hearing you say that you met someone who helped you overcome it, but you can talk us through the step. But now you share your story so openly. You really do bear it all. Why do you choose to bear it all so honestly?
If I own it, it can never be used against me. It can never come back at me. It's the Eminem philosophy from 8 Mile. If you want to look at how prophetic and philosophical that final scene in the movie 8 Mile was, where I'm going to take my power and put it on display. I will take my story, because then you have nothing to use against me. If my own worst fears, my most vulnerable moments in my life, my most vicious and violent moments are put on display, you can't use anything against me. My world is open and bare. When you have an open and clear mind, the world falls for you. You can manifest whatever it is you want to be in life. You can do and accomplish anything you want if you can move the barriers. And that's all those are. The pain is a barrier. The memory is a barrier. The frustration and the anger is a barrier. And if you block those and lay those barriers open, there's nothing you can't accomplish.
I love it. If you bear it all, then it cannot be used against you. That is true. And I think people spend so much time trying to hide, trying to cover up because of all the stigma and the judgments in the world, that you end up being someone that you're not, something inauthentic. And people can tell, like you said, once you open up and you bear it all, then people are attracted to you. People
Right.
know you're real.
And people listen because one in 6 boys are molested in this world. 1 in 3 girls are molested in this world.
Yeah.
Most people know somebody who's been through it. And if I can teach somebody to put their story on display, somebody will then know somebody else who will benefit from that story. And somebody can help somebody, even inadvertently, and you can help somebody. I believe it was Seneca who coined that we are all born for the sake of other men.
Yeah.
Either teach or tolerate. So if you can't tolerate, teach.
Love it.
You know?
Beautiful. Okay, so back to, again, you haven't given us the whole spiel, but from what you've said is already, I'm sure people have an idea of what you've been through, the amount of trauma that you experienced. How were you able to overcome that? Because like you said, the statistics are there. You know, a lot of people are going through or have been through or know someone who's been through the same exact thing. But for you, it was more than just the molestation. You also went to prison as well. How did you overcome all of that?
So I ended up ultimately serving 19 months in the hole on that 5-year sentence. And during that time, you know, the first thing that Mallory Bay had ever said to me, he called over to me every day for like a week. And I was angry. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I would get up in the door, yell at him, cuss him out, shut up, stop talking to me, blah, blah. And he would always just, hey, white boy, come here, man, let me talk to you. And I'm like, what? What do you want to talk about? And I'll never forget the first sentence he said to me was, why are you so angry? And what is it that you're passionate about in life? And I thought, that is a weird ass question to ask me. Why are you asking me that question? He's like, why aren't you answering it? I'm like, okay, think about it. I don't have an answer. I don't know what I'm passionate about. And I don't even know why I'm angry. And well, let's start dissecting that because we're going to be here for a long time. We ain't going anywhere. And I was resistant to it at first, but then he shot me over a book called Fred Factor by Mark Sanborn. And he said, read this book and tell me what you think. So I read the book, and it's amazing. It's this amazing book about a mailman who just has passion in his job, just cares about the people that he delivers mail to, and cares about what he does. And I loved it. So I told him that I loved it. And he started sending me more. And he's like, you can learn how to dig deep inside yourself and let go. If you can find every emotion that you have, you can process it, let it go. Nothing can stop you. The world is your playground. You can accomplish anything you want. At the time, I think I'm 26, 27 years old, and I'm in segregation. He said, listen, man, you got your whole life ahead of you. You're going to get out of here when you're still a young man. At my point, I thought, I'm 35, I'm going to be old. 35 is young. It's so young. You have so much time. Learn all you can while you're here. And so I did. I just started dissecting every book the man sent me. I started writing essays. I started doing the work on myself. I started to sit down. One of the most profound things, if you want to learn how to get over something, is live your life backwards. Before I was here, I was here. And before that, I was here. And you can relive your entire life up to when you were your earliest memory by doing this. Then go back through and find each of those places you were and write down the key moments from those points in your life. What made you the happiest? What made you the saddest? And then you can go back through and find out why it made you happy and why it made you sad or why it made you angry. Now, as I go back and look, my uncle started to molest me at 5 years old. What is the point of me being angry about that? What is the point of me being sad, depressed, angry, hurt? What's that going to do? It's not going to change the fact that he molested me. It's not going to change the fact that it happened to me. And if I stay in that mentality where I'm angry and I want closure and I want resolution, then I'm still spending I'm just spending my life wanting something that A, he's not going to give me because he doesn't care. He doesn't feel that. He's a predator. And B, I don't need anyway. I don't need you to explain why you did what you did. I don't need that closure. It doesn't matter to me why you did it. You made me a stronger person because of it. You gave me something that I can now teach the world through. So I appreciate you. I am appreciative of everybody that's ever done anything wrong to me and good. And when I learned those types of philosophies and those types of principles, amor fati is the Stoic principle of love everything that happens, because everything that has ever happened in my life has built who I am. And I love who I am and I love what I do in my life. So I have to be thankful for everything that's ever happened.
So many blows. And I think, so I'm just going to pick a couple because I was going to ask how you were able to forgive the predators because they were people that you knew and holding on to that hurt and looking for closure. I think that is one thing I struggled with that for a very long time. You want the person to apologize and say they were wrong. You know, oh, you've got to acknowledge that you did this to me. But why do you need it? Why do you need that closure?
You're right. You don't need it. You want it because you're looking for someone else to say, I'm sorry, and you don't even need it. It's literally just words. Yeah. It's literally words that, what if he's lying? Exactly. What if he told you exactly what you wanted to hear? Okay, I'm sorry that I did that to you. That's not going to make you feel better.
No.
You're going to be like,
that is the point. You still don't feel better because it happened to me. I'm like, but you need to tell me why you did it. Well, I don't know why I did it. It just happened. I'm sorry. No, but you need to tell me why you did it. Like, okay, what do you want from me? So it doesn't make you feel better. So, but a lot of people are stuck. That's where they get stuck. You're trying to forgive, but you're like, oh, I need closure. I need to talk about it. I need to know. The only thing it's doing to you is it's killing you and it's holding you back. So if you're able to get over that, you don't need it. Go back and find yourself and love yourself. And the more advanced version is really accepting that everything that happens to you happens for a good reason. And it's such a difficult.
And I think the reason why it's such a difficult philosophy for some people to grasp that everything happens to you happens for a reason, because it's such an open-ended statement. It's the statement is, oh, it happens for a reason, and I'm supposed to decipher what the reason is that some men decided they wanted to play with me. Yeah. So I tend to try to look at it. I try to teach people to look at it as it didn't happen for any reason. It happened for the specific reason of you were chosen to help other people. You bear the scars that you have so that you can tell somebody about those scars and you can show them that they're going to be okay and that they can make it. I've got physical scars, mental scars, emotional scars, and I will show you every one of those scars because I'm here, I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm loved, I'm in love, I have a beautiful home, I have a beautiful life. So those scars don't make me. Those traumas don't define me. And holding on to them, trying to get an excuse, closure or why you did it is only going to keep me in a regressive. Having that mindset is a block. It blocks our subconscious mind from letting what we truly want in life out to the world because we're stuck. Yeah. We're stuck by this block. This block is not supposed to be here. The mind and the human body and the human spirit and soul are created to manifest. We are put here on the earth to manifest goodness, kindness, and love because we come from love. Every one of us are made from love. And when we experience a trauma, it puts a block up because we can't see love anymore because something's bad has happened and our brain is trying to protect itself. Our psyche is trying to protect itself so it doesn't see. And the more we're hurt, the more blocks we're putting up. So now we have to go through and rewire all those blocks and pull them all down so that none of the blocks are there and the world just listens to you because we're all vibrational love. And so if I purely love myself and purely love everything, the world will do and give whatever it is that you desire.